So much to say about this episode, I don't know where to start. Stranded on Honeymoon Island UK, episode 5, and I think I'll start with the new couple, Matt and Georgie. Since one of the couples flared out, they had a spare island on the go, so they brought in a new couple, and these two are so fucking adorable. But when they were at the speed dating, you seen her speak to a guy, I can't remember what age she is, it's like 34 or 36, and the guy says to her, "Oh, at least you look good and you're not like an old hag." I would have stood up and walked away. He was on a date with another woman and he said where he was from and she started like mimicking his accent. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know I fucking detest when people do that. It's so ignorant. See, unless you're actually amazing at all accents and you're doing it just to show off your skills, don't fucking do it. So anyway, these two are each other's dreams. She says, "I've been thinking about him ever since we met." She was like so pleased to see him. The wedding was so adorable. Like they're just loving each other. See, if these two fail, it's not going to be good. So it's intimacy week and they get a crate. And I don't know if they all got the same things in their crate, but we've seen different things. So I need to know more information on this. I just found it very interesting that Helen and Abby got the massage gun. And we all know what massage guns can be used for. And I was kind of thinking, did they get that because they're lesbians? Or did everybody get it? I need to know the details. So I'm assuming that Helen's cold sore is finally away. Her and Abby were kissing. They were using the massage gun because she had a sore neck. And they seem to be getting on a lot better. Now, I'm quite confused actually by looking at this picture because when I was watching this episode, I was noticing more things about like what they were wearing and stuff. And Helen had on a corset. And I was going to say, I wonder if she regretted wearing a corset, because imagine wearing a corset every single day for 3 weeks. But she's not wearing one here. So I don't know if she had one on underneath this, but the corset that she's wearing is really fancy. It's all beaded and everything. So I'm confused. I'll need to go back and see episode 1 to see what her dress looked like now. Oliver and Tanya got, I think it was a nurse's outfit, and she got lingerie. And she said something like, "Oh, we're only a week in and we've got lingerie. Like, we're moving quite fast." But I thought, well, he's already been inside you, so surely lingerie is like the easy part now. He decided to put on the nurse's uniform, and I kind of thought, the men should have costumes as well. We didn't get to see her in the lingerie, but I bet she looked banging. I can't remember what David and Anna got, but they're not being intimate right now, so he was just giving her a nice massage. Maury and May, now I've got to give it to him. I know that I wasn't nice about him at the start, and I know that he's an avoidant, but again, he gave her a massage, he was putting a bit of effort in, but when I seen the, like, what happens next time, it's not going as good as what I thought it was. But at least in this episode, he's given it a good go. I also can't remember what Hannah and Sam got, but they two have already been getting up to stuff anyway, so I'm sure they'd have been loving it. But, as I said earlier, as I was watching this, I was noticing more about like what people were wearing and stuff. And randomly, Hannah was speaking, and I don't know if she's wearing her top in a different fashion, right? Or if she's got an extra bit of fabric or whatever. But in this episode, she had her top like, and it came down like down here, right? And I was looking and thinking, her boobs look fucking amazing. How have I not noticed this before? I mean, not that I go about looking at people's boobs, right? But I mean, if they're nice, you're going to notice it. And maybe she was just wearing her top differently, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention before. Because sometimes when I'm watching this, I'm also like playing the computer or whatever, but I was like, wow. She's really got nice boobs. So I'm sure whatever it was that Sam and Hannah got, Sam was thinking the same as me. So they're giving a message, and the men and women are going to go on separate like kind of days out. Abby's with the men. And Oliver decided to tell Tanya that in his opinion David wasn't that into Anna. Now that was just in his opinion, right? And as we know, he's not very connected to his emotions and stuff. So I don't really know why he felt the need to share that information. But what confused me even more is that Tanya decided to share that information with Innie as well. Why did she do that? I would see the point if Oliver says to Tanya, oh, by the way, I've heard of somebody else, or David said this thing to me, or whatever, but he was literally just sharing his opinion, and then she told Innie, and I thought that was just like really unnecessary. One thing that I didn't like was that Tanya was obviously stressing out, right? She went for a walk, and she says, oh, I was talking to the trees, blah, blah, blah. So she came back to him and she says, oh, I went for a walk, I was stressed out and I was talking to the trees. And then they started playing that music. I was expecting it straight away. And then he was like kind of acting as if that was weird. It's not weird to talk to trees. People have been doing it since the dawn of time. It's not as if she's walking up to the trees and going, oh, grandmother tree, and then a face is coming up and it's going, what is it, child? Do you know what I mean? She's talking about like the energy. The fact that he actually thinks that she's like speaking to a tree with words is worrying. Then when it was like the boys' day out, and he was telling the boys, right, and he was saying it in like, oh, I'm not trying to be judgmental because I know she's really spiritual, but I didn't know like how much because she talks to the ocean and she talks to the trees, right? And they were all kind of giggling about it, which was confusing because David's religious. And many religious people will say, I spoke to God, I asked God this, I asked God that, and he spoke to me. But yet, he thinks it's weird for Tanya to speak to a tree. Make it make sense. You would think that such a religious man would think to himself, oh, do you know what? I speak to God, she speaks to nature. It's one and the same. Do you know what I mean? But no, let's just all fucking laugh instead. And I know that they were trying to be respectful, but they were sniggering about it, and I just didn't appreciate it whatsoever. Tanya was telling the girls about the whole Oliver situation, and they were saying, like, he's not giving you, like, husband material. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's having sex with you, but he's not giving you that emotional connection. Now, what I genuinely think is that Tanya is asking for too much. They're only on that island together for 3 weeks. And as I know from watching decades of reality TV, people will say, oh, a day is like a week, right? Because it's totally like it's like you're on a different timeline. But even so, it can take people weeks and months to really feel a connection or be able to be like physical, like emotionally connected to somebody. You can fancy the pants off somebody and have sex with them, but not everybody's into physical touch. Not everybody is into sharing their emotions, and that is really hard for an emotional person to understand. Like, I am so emotional. I am so about sharing my thoughts and feelings and wanting people to do the same with me. And I know that it's hard, but I don't turn around to somebody after a week and say, right, you're not giving me enough. David was speaking to Sam, and he was saying, oh, like when Tanya was over, I felt as if she was being a bit flirty. But I wasn't thinking, oh, there's something there. Like, I was just happy that I was with Annie and I felt like I was with the right person. And Sam says, oh, like, I get that vibe as if like, you really like her. So Oliver's opinion is void at this point. That would have been David's opportunity to say, do you know what, she was quite flirty with me. I wonder if there could be anything between us. But he didn't. So let me know in the comments what you thought of episode 5. Do you think there was any need for Tanya to tell Annie what Oliver said? Because that was just his opinion. There was no facts. David didn't say anything to him. It just didn't sit right with me. And she already knew how raging Annie was when she asked him about, oh, was I the person you wanted? And he says 50-50. So why would she go and tell her that? I don't get it. But I'm just about to go and watch episode 6. So I'll see you next time. Bye!